Spoiler alert, your first client is actually you. And that's true whether you're looking to work in house in a company, on an agency side, or on a freelance basis. So, we are going to talk about the importance of building a personal brand in a little bit. But for now, I just wanted to emphasize the importance of being able to test out your skills on yourself, ideally before getting your first client, because this is how you build up your confidence and skills, and also how you get to know your own personal style. Because you might find that you really love creating content on Instagram, but you hate LinkedIn. Or you might be like, static content, general graphics, not really my cup of tea, but I love video and maybe I want to learn more about that. But either way, the beauty of working in this industry is that you can get started straight away with pretty much no upfront costs. And there are not many careers where that's possible. People will study for months or even years before they're allowed to do things like practice medicine or law or fly a plane or teach a class in a traditional learning environment. So we are incredibly lucky to get to do what we do and how we do it. But I do recognize that not all of you are going to feel confident putting your own name out there yet. I definitely didn't for a long time, which is why my whole brand was initially built on living to roam, which to me represented digital freedom through marketing. And it was also aimed at digital nomads at the time. Now, it's how I set up all of my social media handles so that I could start practicing my skills without my name being attached to anything, especially because I was still working full time when I started. So I wasn't exactly putting things on my LinkedIn profile, for example. But I'm not the only one. There are lots of brands like Peggy Dean of the Pigeon Letters and Burnt Toast here that have built brands under slightly unique, maybe, slightly different names that you wouldn't necessarily associate with these types of brands. But it's just to show you that people honestly really don't care. People don't really care what you've named your business unless it's something like totally inappropriate. I think it's best to just pick something, go with it, and you can change it later on. That's exactly what I did. I transitioned from a business brand name to a personal brand because it became easier for me to just operate under Maggie Stara, but it took a long time for me to be comfortable with that as well. So just pick something, don't focus on it too much, don't stress about it too much, so that you can get registered on the different social networks and start practicing. So we are going to now take a look at how you can do that. There are various sites that allow you to check if social media handles are taken. I'm going to be honest with you, they're not perfect, as in you will also often find conflicting information on them. So I'm going to show you what I mean. I have a brand name in mind that I'm going to be using for this course for demo purposes. So I'm going to be setting up a fake buyer's agency as a real estate brand operating hypothetically here in Brisbane so that I can show you how I would go about doing this for a client. And if I go to namecheck.com, it will show me the different domain names I can access if I was building a website, and then I can also check usernames. So on Namecheck, it tells me Facebook is taken, Pinterest is taken, but TikTok is A-OK, YouTube is A-OK. Then if I go to a site like BrandSnag and I put in Mags Realty, I know I'm really creative with that business name, it will give me some results about the platforms that it's available for, which I already know because I've searched for it, are conflicting with what we just saw on Namecheck. So this will tell me, hey, Facebook is all good to go, Pinterest is all good to go, but TikTok is unavailable, which is directly opposing to what we just saw. So it's not a perfect system, and especially because a lot of these social media check tools won't allow you to put in different characters, and that's simply because on some platforms things are allowed, some things aren't. So for example, Instagram will allow periods to be in between words, whereas that's not allowed on Twitter or YouTube. So that's why it's just best to kind of use this as an initial checkpoint, but then you're going to have to probably go to all the different social media platforms and actually check if the username you want is taken. Also keep in mind that it doesn't necessarily look, if in an ideal world, yes, they would all be the same. It doesn't necessarily mean that that is the be all and end all, especially if you're building a personal brand. I'm under Maggie Sarah, and I'm pretty sure all of my handles are slightly different. Like there's periods in some, underscores in others. Does anybody really care? Not really. Honestly, it's not like somebody would be like, we're not going to work with you because your usernames are not consistent. It's not really a thing unless you're running like a multi-million dollar brand. It's not the be all and end all. Just try to pick something that makes sense to you and the business that you are hoping to run. Or if you're just doing this for practice purposes, then it really doesn't matter. So yeah, these tools can definitely help as a first point of call and a first check, but then we are going to go to each individual platform and set up our usernames, and you'll see me do that throughout the lessons. And don't feel like you need to focus on growing your followers at this point unless you want to, but these accounts can exist for you to just practice on. I have a couple of blank accounts that I use just for testing or demo purposes, and it does take away some of that overwhelm when you are able to create without really expecting much in return. But of course, if you do want to go through and actually develop a social media strategy for yourself and grow these accounts, and maybe you're actually taking this course because you want to grow your own social media presence, then absolutely go for it. But the key here is just to build up your confidence in whatever way suits you. So now in the next section of the course, I'm really excited because this is where we're going to start talking about how you can create a brand on social media that people just can't shut up about. So I'm excited to get into everything in the next lesson, and I'll see you there.